Right now, Sagstrom ahead with the Broadway straight.
But the good news for Chessa is that he'll be pretty sure that he's behind in calling the bet on the turn. So it'd be very, very easy pass on the river.
Can he pass here, Park, for 9,000?
Well, the only hand he can really put Eric on is a flush draw. I mean, which would just have hit. So it's an easy pass.
Chessa delighted to see the three
And
queens.
he's a top-class player, Chessa. He'll make this pass very, very easily.
He must be hating life right now. He wants to see him, Park.
No, I still think he's going.
Only a king.
I still think he's going to call.
It's good.
And the straight
Good.
is good.
Only 3 queens.
And
The only hand I can call with.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Park, do you think that Eric Sagstrom's reputation for bluffing had anything to do with Chessa's call, or did he set him up for later, maybe?
You know, sometimes when you got a big hand like a pair of queens and you finish up with a set, sometimes what's on the board can just irrelevant. I mean, it's a go and show me call.
6 midfielders splayed out all in a row. Everyone still spinning in here. The 2 footballers locked in on target. And the Scottish captain has got to get his team moving because the young Swedes are rolling right now. And between Rory Matthews and Ken Leonard, who is going to make the grade?
No one to play with? There's always PartyPoker.com.
So looking at the leaderboard, 1, 2, and 3, all Sweden right now. And Park, what does Scotland have to do, or has it just been a matter of the cards so far?
Well, it's with cards and maybe a little bit of the occasion. I mean, Tony Chessa's a top-class player. He wouldn't normally have made that call. You know, but sometimes the mind games, you know, you can never really tell when you're watching, you know, what's going through the guys' heads.
So Scotland with their work cut out for them, and everything's going fine for Thomas Brolin. He can afford to fold the 9-3.
Options here.
Okay.
Keep
You
it
can
going.
either call the bet, raise the bet, or pass your cards.
And Ray Stewart, he's going to
Pass.
do
Where's my cards?
what
Raise
he
to
wants to do
3,000
when he's
total.
ready. And now
Pass.
Ken Leonard
Pass.
trying
Fold.
to put the pressure on Scotland, and Chessa says, I'll defend my blind. Ken Leonard's got nothing here.
A little hot after the last spot.
I never steam.
Okay. Do you check raise? Do you check raise?
Sometimes.
Well,
Well, he may check raise this time. Check
Check.
call is probably a little bit more.
4,000.
you know, you love to hear a guy with talk a speech play, but if Ken Leonard opens his mouth
Raise
too
to
much, he
13,000.
could get himself
have
in
any of
trouble
that.
here.
Pass.
Did Chessa come on too strong there, Parker?
He definitely
A
doesn't.
full house.
Well, a little bit, but I don't think he lost any bets there.
It was going to be done.
The rules for this team tournament, just a little bit different. Let's check out the different slant of the ball. Once the cards are in the air and the game has kicked off, the players have 3 hours of playing time to tackle their opponents and score the biggest pots. If there's no winner after this, then the extra time of 1 hour will be played. If we still haven't got a match winner at the end of extra time, there'll be a penalty shootout. 5 hands on the spot will be dealt, and the player with the most chips at the end will take their whole team through into the next stages. In true footballing fashion, bad boys will be booked. If team members are seen to collude against the opposition, they will receive a yellow card, and half of their chips will be distributed among the opposition. A second bookable offense, and the players involved will be eliminated, and their chips shared out between the opposing team. Well, we've seen so far in this team match, Scotland versus Sweden, a lot of basically all-out reckless abandon from the Swedes, Park, and they may be showing the rest of the teams in this tournament
Pass.
the way to take your team through.
Well, I hope the Irish aren't watching this. They're quite capable of doing it already.
Call.
This is the second time Brolin has picked up a big hand in the small blind, but Chessa just limped
Raise.
this time.
Raise. 5 more, 7 total.
Oh, God, Ray Stewart could either get himself into an awful lot of trouble or No, it could be very good news.
You're raising it off.
Re-raise from Ray Stewart. And we could see a big confrontation, Parg, between Sweden and Scotland right here. It'll be a race if the chips go in.
Well, I think Ray has just doubled the bet.
What's out.
7.
Thomas Bowler may well move all in here. And we have the classic race to Queens against the Ace King. The fact that Ray only doubled the bet may actually slow the whole thing down a little
There's
bit.
going to be 7 more teams.
Well, the two footballers are at it. It's 7 on Brolin. And that's a pretty classy call, Parg.
Well, I think Brolin he's decided he's going to see the flop, but there's no ace or king there. He's going to get the rest of his chips in.
Here comes the flop. Scotland's looking for the big slick. Brolin says keep him low.
Oh, wow.
That'll be a nice flop for Thomas Brolin.
You may check this to Ray Stewart. You know, normally when you got the ace king in this spot, it comes 8-7-7. If it's checked to you, you're supposed to protect your hand.
10,000.
Oh, 10,000.
Call.
Bet and call. Is Thomas Brolin worried that Ray Stewart could have kings or aces?
I don't think so. I think Thomas Brolin is pretty. He may bet 20,000 here, just to.
10,000.
Or 10,000 even.
Well, he may nearly have given Ray Stewart the price to try and catch the ace or king, Parg. Stewart needs a card. Here's the river. This pot is the biggest we've seen. And that is good news for Sweden.
10,000.
Well, he's almost placed Ray Stewart into call this, Jesse.
That's exactly what happened. Stewart says, if you didn't have me beat before, you ain't got me beat now. The ladies
We got queens
are
and
lady
sevens.
luck for Thomas Brolin and Sweden. And Parg, that is a very fortunate turn of events for the Swedish team, the Swedish footballer, and for Ray Stewart. He's got to win those big hands, doesn't he?
I think being Scottish and I think you can expect the passion and hard-working team and to be fair, they'll play for themselves because I think when you're playing in a team you've got to get yourself right first, and once you're right it runs into the rest of the team. So I'll be looking for the lads to pull me through for sure. That's one thing.
Well, Sagstrom is a scratch golfer. I think he's about a 4 handicap, and I noticed that Tony Chessa is not that far behind him. There could be a nice Swedish on Scotland match here. Well, Eric Sagstrom wrote down that he was a 3 handicap, and that probably means he's about a 5. Tony Chessa wrote down that he was a 9. It probably means he's about a 1.
Well, they don't normally do handicaps in Scotland. I mean, they normally just say, well, 32.
Call. Pass.
Pass.
Call.
There has been a raise
Pass.
in middle position from Chessa, and he's gotten called by 2 Swedes. And Parg, Chessa clearly has decided that he needs to make something happen. He's out kind of early with no hand.
Check. 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 All checked. Check.
That 7 has just made Tony Chessa
Check.
the best hand, Parg.
Check. All checked.
Anything under a 10, and it will continue to be the best hand. Now Ken Leonard decides he wants to
I think
play.
Leonard's going to bet. Chester will probably call him and we can get on with the next button.
Chessa can beat anything that doesn't involve a flush, an ace, an 8, or an overpair.
If this wasn't on TV, he'd have called him already.
That's 14,000, Parg. I mean, does he have to think that if he calls this bet and loses, that it could severely hurt his chances?
Well, I think if Tony just replays the pot from the very start, he'll work out that the pair of 7s is probably good. You know, Ken would probably a better flush draw. He's a very aggressive player, Ken. He'd certainly he wouldn't check an ace twice. So the only hand that Tony can really be losing to is a pair of 8s. And if Ken had a pair of 8s, he'd be quite happy to.
Pass.
Well, forget about all of that, and on we go.
Tony Chessa has been hurt by his river decisions twice now this game, and Ken Leonard says, I never check 3 times. And, well, Parg, Sweden's just rolling here, aren't they?
They are, and if